So I'd like to share a tiny bit of my story and then bring forth my question. I've been, following Abraham's teachings for around 7 years now.
I want to just stick something in here. You're not following Abraham. Abraham is following you.
We're all in this together,
What is non-physical is following you. You are the launchers of the rockets, and we are the support system behind it. But we are following you. You are not following us.
Let me rephrase. I began listening to myself 7 years ago.
We're nitpicking, but it is so good. That's good.
And I went from, that was back in school, I went from almost hopeless. I had very little self-esteem. I mean, that was the past, but...
Well, let's just tell the new and improved version.
Exactly.
For some reason, not known to me, I was pinching myself off from my resources, and it played out in lots of different ways.
Exactly.
Just don't keep telling the story and keeping that momentum going, because it's irrelevant.
I'm creating the contrast.
We know you are, but what you're doing is you're shooting yourself in the foot and then taking a step forward anyway, and then shooting yourself in the foot and then stepping forward anyway, then shooting yourself in the foot and taking a step forward anyway.
I like to take you on the journey, but anyway.
But you see, you never take your inner being on that journey. You're taking yourself on a journey where your inner being isn't going. Yeah. That's why so many movies are so miserable to watch.
So I created success. I got to the top of my graduating class. I went up on stage and gave a speech at the graduation to inspire others to follow their dreams.
Yes.
And it was amazing because it really put things into perspective, where I was, but where I am right now, like the possibilities that life holds. And it's right there at my fingertips.
Unlimited.
Absolutely. And then I had people come up to me.
It's unlimited, except that you need life to help you focus. Because if somebody says, what do you want? You go, but if you've had some experience so that you know what you want, so isn't that step one a beautiful thing that helps you to focus? Yes?
It is.
Yes?
So I had people come up to me afterwards telling me they were in tears, but I felt, as touching as that was, I felt like something was missing. And what you just said, you hit the nail right on the head. I feel like I have this strong desire and this strong longing to go places and do things, and I do that, and I create, and I'm very powerful in that sense. I'm able to visualize and create what I want, but every time I get there, I'm not satisfied.
You never will be, because it's not about getting anywhere, it's about going somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. But I realize like I've traveled a long way to get here, for example, and it's been amazing, but every time I have an expectation, I feel like the reality that I have is disappointing. And I don't know, I feel lost right now.
You're going to enjoy this, so just relax and let us explain something really basic and really important about that. Because you are an eternal being, we all are. And because we are eternal, because we never cease to be, and because we are joy-seeking beings, then we keep finding another object of attention to which the energy can flow for our pleasure and joy and exaltation and expansion and enthusiasm and love and appreciation. That's what it's all about. It's just this ongoing explanation or exploration of joyful life experience. That's what it is all about. That's the reason that we all continue to be. So we don't create to get it done. We create because we are creators, and because creating is a joyful experience. So the way it works is, you know what you don't want, and you know what you do want, so you launch a rocket, but you're not a vibrational match to that rocket yet. And so you feel the discord of having expanded beyond your ability to maintain. So then you focus and you feel and you improve and you maintain that vibration, and you come to believe and expect, and then you close that gap, and for just a moment there is a glorious, satisfying culmination and manifestation, which then provides a whole other set of contrasting experiences. So the process continues to be, you launch, You're not in alignment. You get in alignment, you achieve. More contrast causes you to launch. You're not in alignment. You get into alignment, and then you achieve. So when it registers to you that it's that sweet spot of closing that gap that it's all about, it's never about how much is created or what you're creating in comparison with anybody else. It's only about what you allow life to produce for you in terms of desire. We loved the previous conversation. What you allow life to produce for you in terms of desire, and then your willingness to line up with that. And we're not giving enough words to what happens when that alignment begins to happen, because the fulfillment that happens, just the fulfillment that happens when you come into vibrational harmony with your broader non-physical perspective, is a joyful thing. But when you sync up with that, and simultaneously then sync up with everything that that means, everything that's in that cake that we were talking about, that vortexual cake, and now you're opening all these new doors where ideas and impulses and rendezvous can come, what you begin to feel is your invincibility. What you begin to feel is your power and your cleverness and your clarity and your passion and your enthusiasm. And on top of all of that, you begin, not just begin, you feel completely your worthiness. And now you know you are a master of creation. Now you understand that there isn't anything that you cannot be or do or have. Now you know what it really means to be alive, to be non-physically focused in a physical body with the entire universe as it has evolved to this extent, cooperating with you for your creative pleasure and endeavor. Mastery of life experience, you see. And nothing else will do for you. Nothing else will do for you. And so once you start catching a whiff of that, once you are no longer comparing your skills with someone else, you got to go up on the stage, you were at the top of your class, you got to give a speech because you were compared with all of the others and you triumphed, and that's a wonderful thing. That comparison helps you to focus. We're not in any way discounting that. But comparatively speaking, the only point of comparison that ever really exists for you or anyone else is that relationship between what life has caused you to create and what you have in a disciplined way accomplished in terms of holding yourself in vibrational sync with that. And once you catch hold of that vision, and once you are able to feel your way into alignment, then the empowerment that happens to you and the enlightenment that occurs to you so far surpasses anything of a physical nature in terms of success. In other words, there's just not money enough to explain it. There are not contacts enough to explain it. It's a state of being that is natural to you. But you see, this is the thing we really want you to hear. It's not a state of being that's already been achieved that you're catching up with. It's a state of being that you have newly created that you are catching up with. And that's the difference. Can you hear that? You have created it. It's not something that someone else has created and is assigned to you. You're not climbing the rungs of a ladder. This is you getting up to speed with your expansion. And since life caused you to make the expansion, if you don't get up to speed, you don't feel good. And when you do get up to speed, we can't even find words to explain how good you feel.
The thing is, I've been there. The way I know I created the success is because I felt that rush and that exhilaration and that to create that, and I made it happen. But then now I feel I've been there, step 4, step 5, but now I feel I kind of lost it, or I don't know where it went, and I feel, how could I allow myself to kind of regress back into, I feel like I'm in limbo.
But you see, this state of alignment is not like a college degree where once you achieve it, it is yours forevermore.
Which is like, oh, come on, like seriously, universe? Like I really worked my ass off.
It either is or it isn't in the moment, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So you just feel for it and find it, and feel for it and find it, and feel for it and find it. And you wouldn't even be able to feel for it and find it if you were not in this state where you've felt for it and not found it. And so this step 5 is not beating up on yourself when you're not there, when you're not feeling it.
But why did I start beating up on myself? Because I was there. How did I suddenly start beating up on myself?
Because you weren't really there. You weren't really there. You weren't really there, because you were there enough to create the accolades. You were there enough to get the degree. You were there enough for this manifestation and this one and this one. But the big prize that you're reaching for is that consistent alignment. It's empowerment. It's that steady acknowledgement of who you are. It's the chronicness of it. It's the steadiness of it that you're reaching for, you see. The thing that we want you to hear, and we're going to take a segment of refreshment in 1 minute. The thing that we want you to hear, the thing that we know you will hear, the thing that you are able to hear, the thing that you are ready to hear, is that nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong. You have an intensity of desire for alignment more powerful than anyone, that would not be there if you were not chewing on this contrast that you're chewing on. So it's just a matter of going with the flow of the desire. Our friend said, where does desire come from? And we said, you create it through contrast. All that's happened is you've created a extra new powerful desire. You're out there creating a scenario so that you can ask us questions, because we're out here on this leading edge where we're saying to all of you that it's about the journey. And you've heard that forever. You don't even want to hear that anymore. You don't want to hear that it's about the journey. No one wants to hear it's about the journey unless you're just having a rip-roaring good time on the journey that you're on. All you got to do is just chill and stop taking score about where you are, and care about how you feel only, about how you feel only. So now, if you were there, if you cared about how you feel only, you would say to us things a little differently than you said. If you cared about how you feel only, you would say, Abraham, I'm a really good creator, and you'd leave it there. And you would say, things come relatively easily to me. You would say, I'm really good at focusing. I can feel energy move. I'm a highly emotional person. I can feel when I'm in alignment and when I'm not. I can contour my thoughts to produce stronger momentum. I can feel when momentum is increasing. I can feel when I'm moving toward the fulfillment of who I am, and when I'm sort of idling or even moving in opposition to it a little bit. I can feel this. I have become a conscious, deliberate creator. I like practicing being a conscious, deliberate creator. I appreciate my guidance system that helps me do that. I appreciate Esther and Abraham, who have given me an understanding of how this all works. I love knowing about law of attraction. I love knowing that thoughts matter a lot. I love even more knowing that emotions matter a lot, because the thought matters, the emotion matters, the thought matters, the emotion matters. And I can control the way I feel by focusing my thoughts. My relationship is between me and my inner being. It's not between me and the world. I'm not trying to conquer. I'm not trying to climb the highest mountain or be the most that anyone has ever been. What I want to do is become a vibrational match, and a consistent vibrational match to my own desires that I've given birth to. And I'm getting better and better and better at that every day. I understand that life is supposed to feel good, and sometimes it does. And when it does, I revel in that. I like it so much that life feels good, that when life doesn't feel good, I feel really extra awful, because I love it so much when life feels good. I'm an intense person. I care about the way I feel. I've been that way for as long as I can remember. My emotions have always